Welcome to episode 5 of How to Raise a Mazel Mentch. This month we are talking about teaching our children to be more responsible, and I can't believe that we're already at episode 5. In our previous episode, we spoke about the fact that without independence, children cannot develop responsibility. The two work hand in hand. When children complete household chores, take care of their things, solve their own problems, they have both the opportunities and experience to practice being more responsible. It's almost intuitive. Without responsibilities, how can a child learn to be more responsible? So, helicopter parenting, snowplow parenting just doesn't work if we are raising a kid who will be a responsible mensch. Now, this does not mean that we do not support or assist our children and we make them just do it on their own. What it does mean is that we are there to guide them, to give them the opportunities, the tools, and sometimes it means literally buying child-size cleaning tools so that they can help out. It means making it more realistic for them to be successful, to teach them how to meet their responsibilities, to give them feedback, and most importantly, to praise their efforts, labeling them with the word responsible. I see how hard you are working to be responsible about that task. Or, that was so responsible of you. Because this reframes the way that they see themselves, and that alone breeds more responsible behavior. At the same time, teaching responsibility goes along with teaching accountability. Without being held accountable for their choices, being independent is a nice idea, but won't necessarily teach children what it means to truly be responsible. Accountability is not about punishment. It's about understanding that we are all held accountable for each of our actions and decisions, and that if we do something wrong, we will have to answer for it. We will be responsible for it. So we all know how it goes when your child does something wrong. Our first reaction is, why did you... ... fill in the blank. Here's an important note. Kids usually do not know why, especially if they're small or they're not very self-aware or articulate and cannot pinpoint exactly why they did something. Usually you'll get a shrug. Also, asking why you did something can open up the conversation for trying to find an excuse for what happened. Even though that's not our intention as the adult, that's the message indirectly that gets sent. The conversation can quickly lead to the child justifying what happened. It's just not a good place to start. First, we try to solve problems rather than excuse them. So instead, try these questions with a matter-of-fact approach. What happened? What's the impact of what happened? Or what's the problem with what happened? How can we fix it? What other choices could we have made or should we make in the future? So we talk the child through a reflective process to help them think about their actions and choices in a more responsible way. And we're focusing in this conversation on the actions, the bottom line, being responsible, not excusing. And of course, it's not just about the talk. The conversation can't end there. In simplest terms, accountability means that there is one basic rule that is always followed. If you break it, you fix it. And this is the rule that we as the adults have to follow through on. This applies to stuff as well as to interpersonal situations. If you spill something, you are the one to wipe it up. If you make a mess, you clean it. If you ruin property, you are responsible to fix it or pay for a replacement. The same is for relationships. If you hurt a friend, whether physically or emotionally, you are responsible to do everything in your power to make them feel better. You are responsible to face them, to talk to them about what happened, so that you know how you can make sure that it doesn't happen again. and you know what steps you need to take to prevent it from happening in the future. Accountability also sometimes means the loss of a privilege. If we do not clean up our toys, then we cannot go outside to play. We cannot go to the park. Or if we don't take care of our things, then we won't be able to get other new things. The hardest part of all of this is for us as the adults that we have to enforce it and to follow through on it. But it's the only way that a child learns you had a choice and your actions matter. Ultimately, this is how real life works. In life, you do have free choice and you are held accountable for everything you do. In fact, these are actually two of the most fundamental Jewish beliefs about the way that God runs the world that Judaism teaches us. Raising children is all about giving them the chance to learn about life within the framework of a safe home, a safe classroom, and with the support and guidance of loving parents and teachers before heading out into their adult life. This is our responsibility. So how do we teach our children to be more responsible? Having responsibilities and being held responsible are the two primary ways a child is raised to be a more responsible person. That's a lot of responsible. Step by step, with consistency and gentle but firm guidance, we will see big changes as our children learn to be more and more responsible and grow up to be a true mensch. That's all for today, and Shabbat Shalom.